zusammen and welcome to lesson number 4 in a 30-part series on how to learn German in 30 days. In today's lesson, you will learn a number of grammatically relevant and interesting things. Firstly, you will learn how the famous German compounds, die Komposita, are made, because we are going to be talking about the German course, der Deutschkurs, which is just one example of a German compositum. Secondly, you will learn how to count in German from 0 to 1 million. Thirdly, with that knowledge, you will learn how to tell the time in German, because time on a daily basis is crucial, right? Being able to make appointments, being able to keep deadlines, arriving on time, being punctual in a German-speaking country is essential. And also, being able to strike up a conversation just because you need to know what time it is nice. Fourthly, we will learn how to make sentences with time words. Fifthly, we will learn something about countries and nationalities, not all of them, just the ones that stand out and require our attention. And lastly, we will learn something about the German noun plurals. As you can see, I've saved the best for last because, let's face it, who on earth orders one scoop of ice cream when it's boiling hot outside like it is right now? Well, at least go for two, don't we? So, with that agenda in mind, let's make a start. So, how did it go? Did you do well in the test number 1? I hope you have. I hope you are making progress. If you haven't already, definitely check it out. The link you will find in the description box for lesson number 3, right? And in the description box for today's video, you will find another link to check up on your progress. Again, 5 sentences and the answers. And those sentences you will find in the description box. Good luck! As usual, I'm going to read out loud the dialogue to you guys, because this text will be the basis for us to complete the exercises later on. Off we go. Der Deutschkurs, the German course. Heute Morgen geht Yuki in die Schule. We know why it's in die, don't we? Der Deutschunterricht beginnt. Die Kursteilnehmer kommen aus Frankreich, England, Italien, Spanien, Polen, China, Bolivien, den USA und Afghanistan. Alle wollen Deutsch lernen. Frau Holzer, the German teacher. Guten Morgen, herzlich willkommen in der Schule. Ich heiße Frau Holzer. Ich komme aus Deutschland und wohne in München. Ich möchte Sie gerne kennenlernen. Woher kommen Sie? Yuki. Ich komme aus Japan, aus Sapporo, Frau Holzer. Und wie heißen Sie? Yuki. Ich heiße Yuki Naito, Frau Holzer. Und wer sind Sie? Jean-Luc. Mein Name ist Jean-Luc Monsieur. Ich komme aus Frankreich, aus Toulouse, Frau Holzer. Und woher kommen Sie, Olivia? Ich komme aus Bolivien, aus La Paz, Frau Holzer. Ich habe Bücher und einen Stundenplan für Sie. Bitte schön. Der Unterricht beginnt morgens um 8 Uhr. Von 10:15 Uhr bis 10:45 Uhr machen wir eine Pause. Yuki, können wir etwas zu trinken kaufen? Frau Holzer, ja, Sie können in die Cafeteria gehen. Die Mittagspause beginnt um 12:30 Uhr. Nachmittags beginnt der Unterricht um 13:30 Uhr. Es dauert bis 16 Uhr. Yuki, was können wir danach noch machen? Danach können Sie noch eine Stunde in die Bibliothek gehen. Sie schließt um 17 Uhr. Montags, Mittwochs und Freitags sind wir nachmittags im Sprachlabor. Es ist im Raum 7 im Erdgeschoss. Jeden Dienstag und Donnerstag sind wir nachmittags im Videoraum. Heute endet der Unterricht um 15 Uhr. Heute Abend feiern wir eine Begrüßungsparty. Sie dürfen gerne Freunde mitbringen. Yuki: Wie lange haben denn die Geschäfte auf? Ich muss noch in ein Blumengeschäft. Frau Holzer: Sie haben noch Zeit. Die Geschäfte schließen werktags um 20 Uhr und samstags um 16 Uhr. First topic on the agenda, we've got word formation by means of compounding. What does it mean? New words in German can be made by combining one noun with another noun. How practical, isn't it? Our first example, we've got der Videoraum. Das Video plus der Raum results in der Videoraum. Now, I need your attention. What is the article of this compound? Der Videoraum. Why? Das Video, der Raum. Well, because the last component in a compound determines the gender of this noun. Alright? Der Videoraum, the video room. The second example is die Begrüßungsparty. Die Begrüßung plus die Party results in die Begrüßungsparty, and in the middle we've got this S. Its job is just to sort of smoothly combine two nouns together, right? Also, it's to do something with articulation. I mean, Begrüßungsparty, 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 I don't know. I think it's called das Binde S, right? Anyway, die Party determines the noun gender, in this case, die Begrüßungsparty, the welcoming party. And the third example is a super useful noun in German, der Stundenplan. Let's break it down. Die Stunden, the hours, right, in the plural. Die Stunde, singular, die Stunden, plural, plus der Plan, which is obvious, results in der Stundenplan, the timetable. Form the compounds and fill in the articles. Number 1. Die Stadt und das Zentrum. In the end we've got das Stadtzentrum. Well, das because of das Zentrum, right? Next up, die Bücher plus der Schrank. Die Bücher is the plural of das Buch, so the books, okay? Equals in der Bücherschrank. A bookshelf. I mean, the bookshelf, right? Next up, we've got der Brief und die Marke. What do we have? Die Briefmarke. Okay, that's correct. Fourthly, we've got der Brief plus der Umschlag. Der Umschlag is the envelope. We've got der Briefumschlag. That's right. And fifthly, der Abend plus das Essen. And here we go, das Abendessen. The supper, the dinner. Let's talk about the numbers, shall we? And I will say this, you will have to learn the first 12 numbers, and you'll notice in a second it's not difficult at all, because German and English, they have a lot in common, that's right. So because of the common Germanic origin, you will notice that some numbers sound similar. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Between 12 and 20, which is 20, what happens is, to form 13, we take 3 and attach 10, which is 10, to it. 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16. Notice the difference. 6, 6, 16, right? So we drop the S at the end. 16, then 17, again, 7, 7, 17, 17. We drop EN, right? 17, 18, 19 and 20. Our first destination. Then 21, right? What happens is, it's a different thinking process here. We start with the ones, then put und, which is and then go on with the tens, okay? So, 21, 22, 23, 24 is 24, that's right. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and we've reached our next destination, 30. 30. 30. Notice sick is different to sick in 20, right? But they sound very similar. 20, 30, right? So you need to pay attention to detail, then you will sort of identify this, right? 30. And then it works along the same lines. 31, 32, 33, 33, 39, 40. Back to zig, as in 20. Right? 41, 42, 43, 44, 49, 50. 51, 52, 53, 56, 60. 61, 62, 63, 69, 70. 71, 72, 73, 73, 79, 80. 89, 90, and then our next destination is 100. 100. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. 1000. Right? Then we've got obviously 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000, 7000, 8000, 9000. So 100,000. And then along the same lines, we'll work our way from 100,000 to 1 million, 1 million, right? So 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, right, in the middle, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000, 900,000, 1 million. That's enough for the time being. Right, exercise time, write in the numbers. So, first one is, first of all, identify how many digits do we have? 2, right? And then the und in the middle, okay? And then the first digit goes at the end, and the second one goes in front of the second digit, right? So, 7, the second half, und 30, right? So the number begins with 3, right? 37, right? 37. Then we've got 42, 42. 99, 99. 867, 867, right? Again, it needs time to analytically break it down. Take your time. And 5, 5. 987.106, right? So 987.106. Entschuldigung, wie spät ist es? Wie viel Uhr ist es? Right? In German, we don't have AM and PM. What we do have, we break the day into the first half, the first 12 hours, and the second half. And to tell the time in German, you will need to learn at least the first 24 numbers. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, midday, the noon hits, and we go on with 13, and we end with 24. Okay, so 13 Uhr, 14 Uhr, 15 Uhr, 16 Uhr, 17 Uhr, 18 Uhr, 19 Uhr, 20 Uhr, 21 Uhr, 22 Uhr, 23 Uhr, 24 Uhr. Midnight. Wie spät ist es? There are two ways of telling the time, formally and informally. Formally it's actually easier because we just need the digits, right? So, wie spät ist es? Es ist 13 Uhr 42. To tell the time informally, we operate with quarters, halves, 22s, 20 pasts, and so on, right? So, for example, after 12, we need the preposition nach, okay? So, es ist Viertel nach, okay, let's stick with 1 hour, right? So, es ist Viertel nach 1, okay? Es ist 20 nach 1, okay? Es ist 25 nach 1. Es ist halb 2. And then after 6 until 12, we need the preposition for. Es ist 20 vor 2. Es ist Viertel vor 2. Es ist 10 vor 2. Es ist 5 vor 2. Und es ist 2. To stick with 1 Uhr, 1 o'clock, interesting enough, we say 1 Uhr, but Viertel nach 1 or halb 1 or Viertel vor 1. Exercise time. Write out the time of the day in full, both formally and informally. Nummer 1. Es ist 9:15 Uhr. And informally, es ist Viertel nach 9. Right? 2. Es ist 12:30 Uhr. And informally, es ist halb 1. Nummer 3. Es ist 4:45 Uhr. Okay? Informally, es ist Viertel vor 5. Right? Nummer 4. Es ist 8:10 Uhr. And informally, es ist 10 nach 8. 5. Es ist 6:25 Uhr. Informally, es ist 25 nach 6. Right? Next up, we've got the time of the day. And the good news is we already know all days of the week. We know that they are masculine, don't we? If you don't remember, check out the first video or the second video, I think the second one. What we are going to do today, we are going to put the preposition before each of those days to get on in English, okay? So on Monday is Montag, okay? Am Montag gehe ich in die Arbeit. On Monday I go to work, okay? Am Montag gehe ich in die Arbeit. Am Dienstag gehe ich in die Arbeit. Am Mittwoch gehe ich in die Arbeit. Am Donnerstag gehe ich in die Arbeit. Am Freitag gehe ich in die Arbeit. Am Samstag gehe ich nicht in die Arbeit. Am Sonntag gehe ich nicht in die Arbeit. Am Samstag und am Sonntag we can put together as the weekend, on the weekend, which is am Wochenende, right? Which is again a nice compound. Die Woche, or die Wochen, right? And then das Ende, we've got das Wochenende, because das Ende, the weekend, das Wochenende. Right? Another way of saying that you are repeatedly doing an activity, like on a weekly basis, right? On Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, you put an S at the end of Montag, Dienstag, Mittwoch, Donnerstag, Freitag, Samstag, Sonntag, and you've got Montags. You don't have to capitalize it, by the way. Montags gehe ich in die Arbeit. Okay? Dienstags gehe ich in die Arbeit. Mittwochs gehe ich in die Arbeit. Donnerstags gehe ich in die Arbeit. Freitags gehe ich in die Arbeit, samstags gehe ich nicht in die Arbeit, sonntags gehe ich nicht in die Arbeit. So, am Wochenende gehe ich nicht in die Arbeit. So, speaking of the time of the day, the brilliant news is those are masculine, with one notable exception. Let's have a look. In German, we break the day into smaller units, so we start with the Morgen, okay, der Morgen, which is early in the morning, right? We can either say am Morgen or morgens, okay, which is the same, in the morning, early in the morning, right? Morgens, am Morgen. Then we've got Vormittag, in the morning, right? Am Vormittag, vormittags, again. So then we've got Mittag, the famous Mittagspause, lunch break, right? Followed by Nachmittag, right? So which is afternoon, right? Am Nachmittag or nachmittags, right? In the afternoon. Then we've got der Abend, am Abend, abends, right? And then we've got die Nacht, the exception, and nachts, right? Which is like every evening, right? The word order in a sentence always time words. The famous three positions to remember: first, second, third. In German, second position is always reserved for the verb, right? So the example is, der Unterricht, the lesson, beginnt 8 Uhr, okay? Der Unterricht, subject, beginnt, verb. And 8 Uhr is our adverb of time, right? So when, 8 Uhr. But we can also say 8 Uhr beginnt der Unterricht, right? Can you see? The second position is always reserved for the verb, right? Der Unterricht beginnt 8 Uhr or 8 Uhr beginnt der Unterricht. Exercise time. Complete the sentences with samstags, morgens, mittags, abends oder nachts. Nummer 1. Schläft Peter immer bis 8 Uhr? So, looks like Peter is not an early bird, right? We've got two options here. Either morgens, right, every morning, schläft Peter immer bis 8 Uhr, or samstags, depending on his lifestyle, right? Again, if he gets up at 6 every morning, then 8 Uhr samstags would be an option, right? But every Saturday he gets up at 8, right? So during the week at 6, samstags 8. Nummer 2. Macht er immer eine Pause? Mittagspause, right? The famous Mittagspause, which is mittags. Macht er immer eine Pause. Nummer 3. Nicole geht immer früh ins Bett. Ins Bett gehen, go to bed, right? Is an activity that usually takes place abends, right? Also Nicole geht abends immer früh ins Bett. Nummer 4, sie trinkt nicht Kaffee, sie kann sonst nicht einschlafen. So, einschlafen is fall asleep, which takes place at night, right? Nachts, which is the second slot. Sie kann sonst nachts nicht einschlafen, and so before nachts we've got abends. Right? Sie trinkt abends nicht Kaffee. Okay? Sie kann sonst nachts nicht schlafen. 5. Schließen die Geschäfte um 16 Uhr. Okay, looks like an exception because the shops close at 8 p.m. in Germany, right? Perhaps on New Year's Eve, yeah. But two options would be thinkable here, right? Abends or samstags schließen die Geschäfte um 16 Uhr. Are you ready for a short trip around the world? Because we're going to learn some countries and nationalities. We don't have the time to learn all of them, obviously, and we don't need to, because the good news is most countries in German do not have and do not demand an article, right? So sie kommt aus Deutschland, she's from Germany, right? Sie kommt aus Deutschland, kommt aus China, he's from China, sie kommen aus Polen, they are from Poland, right? What else? Sie fliegt nach, so she's flying, sie fliegt nach Australien, muss nach Japan, yeah? Notice the preposition nach, when we're talking about directions, right? Nach Kazakhstan, no article. What else do we have? Nach Argentinien, nach Thailand. Right. And then we've got a couple of exceptions that always demand the article. And it depends on the gender of the country. Okay, so we've got a couple of feminine nouns and a couple of masculine nouns. Let's begin with feminine nouns. So, ich gehe in die Türkei. I go to Turkey. So if it's a feminine noun, and we know based on the lesson number 3, right, that the preposition in demands the accusative case when we ask the question wohin. Yeah? Wohin fliege ich? Right? Ich fliege in die Türkei. Right. When I say that I am in Turkey, I go ich bin in der Türkei, which is the dative case. We haven't done it yet, but just something to pay attention to. Yeah? So ich fliege in die Türkei. Ich bin in der Türkei, like locally, right? I have arrived, I'm there. Ich bin in der Türkei. Ich fliege in die Türkei. The same applies to Switzerland. Ich gehe in die Schweiz. Ich bin in der Schweiz. Ich gehe in die Ukraine. Ich bin in der Ukraine. A couple of plurals. Ich gehe in die Niederlande. The Netherlands. Ich bin in den Niederlanden. Ich gehe in die USA. Ich bin in den USA. Die Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. A couple of masculine nouns would be ich gehe in den Irak. Ich bin im Irak. Ich gehe in den Iran. Ich bin im Iran. Ich gehe in den Kongo. Ich bin im Kongo. Ich gehe in den Senegal. Ich bin im Senegal. Ich gehe nach Südafrika. Ja, ich bin in Südafrika. A couple of sentences to practice the countries and the prepositions. And the number 1 is, so we've got Angelika, Deutschland, England, and Deutschland is the country of origin, and England is the destination, right? So, Angelika kommt aus Deutschland und fährt nach England. Yeah? No articles, so regular prepositions, aus and nach. Secondly, Agne, Schweden, USA. So Agne kommt aus Schweden und fährt in die USA. Okay? 2. Carlos, Spanien, Polen. Carlos kommt aus Spanien und fährt nach Polen. 3. John, England, Schweiz. John kommt aus England und fährt in die Schweiz. 4. David, Israel, Portugal. David kommt aus Israel und fährt nach Portugal. Another exercise to complete the sentences with the respective nationalities. So, sie kommt aus den USA, sie ist Amerikanerin. Right? And in at the end indicates that it's a female person. Right? Er ist Amerikaner, sie ist Amerikanerin. 2. Gérard kommt aus Frankreich. Er ist Franzose. If we had a Bridget, right, she would be Französin. Okay? 3. Danuta kommt aus Polen. Sie ist Polin. Right? And I don't know, he would be Pole. 4. Ergün kommt aus der Türkei. Er ist Türke. And Özlem is Türkin. Okay? Last point on today's agenda are the noun plurals in German. 2 things. In order to avoid unnecessary and ineffective random memorizing of the plurals in German, we are going to put the nouns in German into categories in a moment. Secondly, there is only one article that covers all 3 genders in German in the plural. That's the definite article D that stays the same in the nominative case and in the accusative case. Isn't it wonderful? So, der Fernseher, the television, ein Fernseher, a television, die Fernseher, the televisions, the tellies, right? No indefinite article in the plural in German. Das Geschäft, the shop, ein Geschäft, a shop, die Geschäfte, the shops. So, the first category are the feminine nouns that end in E. They usually take the ending N in the plural. So, eine Stunde, 10 Stunden. Eine Uhr, 50 Uhren. Eine Pause, 8 Pausen. The second category refers to one-syllable neuter nouns and some masculine nouns that take the plural ending ir, so er, ihr. Ein Kind, 10 Kinder. Ein Mann, 15 Männer. Ein Buch, 20 Bücher. Also, many nouns in German end in the plural ending I. Okay? Ein Brief, 10 Briefe. Ein Abend, 2 Abende. Ein Geschäft, 10 Geschäfte. Und ein Stuhl, 15 Stühle. The next category applies to nouns that have a, o in the stem as a vowel, and it occurs with almost all family members, and those a, o turn into e, ö and ü. Yeah, so the umlaute. For example, die Mutter turns into die Mütter. Der Vater turns into die Väter. Die Tochter turns into die Töchter. The next category concerns nouns that end in certain suffixes, and those nouns tend to stay the same in the singular and in the plural. Wonderful. So, the first suffix is ir. Ein Zimmer, 15 Zimmer. Next suffix is in. Ein Kuchen, 50 Kuchen. Next suffix is il. Ein Apfel, 3 Äpfel. Next one is hin. Ein Mädchen, 2 Mädchen. And the last one is lein. Ein Büchlein, 50 Büchlein. And the last category concerns nouns that are either foreign words or nouns that end in a, o, or e. And those nouns take the s in the plural, like the majority of English nouns take the s plural, don't they? So, eine Oma, 2 Omas. Ein Opa, 3 Opas. Right? Ein Auto, 10 Autos. Ein Taxi, 5 Taxis. Ein Hotel, 4 Hotels. So, and to round off today's session, I've got a nice exercise to practice the plural in German. Put the nouns in the plural. Nummer 1. Yuki hat 2. So we've got der Koffer in brackets. You know that category. Certain suffixes that stay the same. Er. Exactly. Yuki hat 2 Koffer. Koffer. Ein Koffer. 2 Koffer. 50 Koffer. Nummer 2. Die Kursteilnehmer lesen Buch turns into Bücher. Buch, Bücher. Right? Nummer 3. Am Kiosk kann man, so we've got Streifenkarte. Feminine nouns that end in E tend to take en in the plural, right? Streifenkarten kaufen. Right? 4. Yuki kauft Äpfel. We've had this one. A turns into E, and the suffix L tends to stay the same. Right? Apfel, Äpfel. Und 5. München und Köln sind große Städte. Instead of A. Right? Stadt, Städte. Stadt, Städte. Alright guys, this concludes this session. It's been a lot to take in. Take your time, do the exercises, read the text, try to find everything that we have done today and see whether or not it makes sense. I hope you are making progress. If you have any questions, drop them in the sections down below and I'll answer them ASAP. I wish joy and success on your learning journey. Tschüss zusammen! I'll see you in lesson number 5 next week.